Hi everybody, it's Jordan Kimmel from VoiceAmerica CEO channel, where we give up and coming companies the opportunity to really show off and show who they are. It's really a pleasure right now. I'm with Barry Sloane, the founder, CEO, and president of Newtek Business Services. And what I want to mention before we get started is I sought Barry out. You all know I use a quantitative model called Magnet. It shows up right at the top of the list. I actually met Barry at a conference recently. And it's always an honor when I could bring a highly ranked company, the CEO, on our show. So Barry, thanks so much for joining us.
Jordan, pleasure to be here today. Thank you for having me.
Alrighty, and you know what is unique? I really want to start, let everyone know what you do. In this world where everyone says things take longer than they should, things take more time than they should, you actually have 100,000 small businesses as customers. I'd like you to share exactly what kind of services you provide for them.
Sure. Jordan, we have an excess of 100,000 business accounts all across the United States. And basically what we do is we're a full service organization that really focuses on what is known as the independent small and medium sized business owners in the U.S. We're a small business lender. We provide technology solutions. We give in payment processing solutions. We really focus on what the small business owner's needs are.
Right, and so it's really kind of a soup to nuts kind of buffet. I know people don't have to take all your services, but what they could do is focus on what they do best and let you run the revenue collection, the websites.
Well, if you're a small business owner today, your choices are using a local insurance agent, maybe a local independent selling organization for merchant services, a web designer. You really don't have a branded participant that can give you strong reps and warranties of a business service or a product.
Okay.
We do payroll services, we do insurance brokerage, health and benefits. We lend money to small businesses, the mother's milk. We're helping businesses deal with Obamacare, which is a big issue coming up in January of 2014. So from our perspective, we really are an authoritative presence for SMBs all across the United States. We're growing rapidly.
Right, so and again, 100,000 different customers. One of the things as an investor I look at is the reliance on one customer that could really push you around when you have 100,000, all kind of adding up to the sum. And I also want to just share full disclosure, I am an investor, that's what I do for a living. And I'm invested in your company. It trades on the NASDAQ. It's NEWT. And again, a lot of small businesses, what's interesting, don't get the opportunity really to get the media coverage, go on major networks. But I think you're in a unique position. You have your finger on the pulse of small business. So I know there's a host of services and a lot of TV that you bring on because of your information. Why don't you share what you actually release maybe on a weekly, monthly basis to the nation?
Well, we have a business index that we have created that's been in existence now about 2 years. It's released by CNBC and Bloomberg once a month. That business index is a snapshot of the health of the small business economy. You can see that business index on our website at thesba.com. We also produce a market sentiment survey, just like the NFIB.
Okay.
We survey over 1,000 businesses every month and ask them questions about healthcare, tax policy, sentiment, all things of that nature. So we really understand small business.
Right, and so a lot of these surveys that come out are the largest businesses. We have to realize who really is employing the most amount of people in this country are companies with less than 50 employees.
According to the Small Business Administration, an agency of the U.S. government, 75% of net new job growth comes from the small business segment. Our organization, which we anticipate doing about $145 million in revenues in 2013 and probably producing about $11.5 to $12 million in pre-tax profits, we're solely focused on this customer base.
Right.
It represents 50% of U.S. non-farm GDP. It's a great opportunity for us and shareholders.
Right, and so something's telling me while the media is saying nobody's working and the country's in shutdown mode, my model looks for things like accelerating revenues, accelerating margins, and Barry, you showed up on the top of the list, not because you're a nice guy, not because you founded the company, but because something's executing here really, really well.
Well, it's a good strategy. Our strategy is to offer a broad array of services to position ourselves as an authoritative presence for small business in the United States. And if you ask business owners what are the most important things they need today, they need financing, they need healthcare solutions, and they need technology. Because if they don't have the best technology, they can't be efficient. So we provide all of those things to business owners. We have a product called the Newtek Advantage that gives a business owner the ability to get real-time payment processing data with 30-second updates, web traffic statistics, 30-second updates, and do payroll right from a tablet. Business owners are going to run their business from a tablet. Newtek has the solutions for business owners to run all their critical business applications from smartphones and tablets.
Right, and folks, I will, a little more disclosure, I will admit, I've seen this in operation. I actually asked Barry to come into my family's business in New York, my brothers and sisters who run a very nice business, but they're maybe not as tech savvy as some of the things that are coming out, enabling smaller businesses to grow more rapidly. I want to touch on something else because the M in Magnet stands for management. And I know you founded the company, but you're certainly not handling 100,000 customers by yourself.
Sure.
I see all the time some great new hires coming in and where they're coming from. Maybe take a couple minutes to share the expertise of the team.
Jordan, I can't appreciate that comment more. Newtek is over 310 employees, and the strength of the company at this point, given the size and how it's growing, is its management team. We've recently hired a chief credit risk officer. He has over 5 times experience being chief credit risk officer and chief lending officer at 5 commercial banks. We hired a head of HR. We hired a new production team in the merchant processing space, Randy Sager, Eric Terrell. These guys have created over 7,000 business customers a month. So we're very excited about a lot of our new additions, a lot of our new hires. We think the company is poised for superior growth going forward.
Well, fantastic. You know, one of the other things that I'll look at is insider ownership. I'm really interested when the management team is not taking excessive salaries, flying first class, flying their dogs on first class, but actually own a lot of the company, because that's when you know you're really with someone who's got their interest as your interest as a shareholder. And I want to just, bring out the level of ownership of the management of the company.
Sure. There were 3 original founders of the company. Myself and the second founder, we probably comprised have 25 to 30% of the shares. If you look at our K's and Q's, going back, not looking at the current Q, I've had the same base compensation for over 6 or 7 years. I do not fly first class, and I don't have a dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm the one to give advice on this. Barry, one of the problems I have with Wall Street is people are obsessed with quarterly earnings. What did you just do? What just happened? I think the most important thing for a company, though, is where they're going, what the future looks like. And while I don't think anyone can predict 5 and 10 years out, the CEO's got a pretty good handle on the next year or two. Why don't you kind of share maybe what you think the next year looks like, where you really see opportunities for Newtek?
Jordan, we've built the company to last, and we've been a public company now for over 12 years. Going back over the last 3 years, our pre-tax earnings have gone from about $1 million to $3 million. We expect to do about $9.25 million in our 2012 report, and the expectation for 2013 is probably $11.5 to $12 million. So we're finally starting to see the fruits of our labor after building this infrastructure. There's tremendous operating and financial leverage going forward. Our lending business is doing great,
Okay.
Our electronic payment processing business is doing great, and our cloud computing solutions, giving business owners the ability to get their critical data without having the critical data on premise, but off-site in our military strength-proof facility. So we're in the right products, in the right space, with a huge economic force servicing small and medium-sized businesses.
Well, you know what, I will have to say that, again, I've always believed in the bell curve. There's a lot of noise, there's a lot of middling companies, but it's really great to see a company that's servicing 100,000 small businesses is seeing the ramp up in what you do. Again, I'm using a quantitative model to find that you show up right near the top. And I just want to thank you for your time. We're here in your New York office. I know you actually have offices around the country and employees around, but I want to really thank you for taking the time in the corporate offices, joining us on Voice America CEO channel. Thank you so much.
Thank you.